Now we are jumping to the national point of view, status review national perspective with Pierre Cochat. Pierre Cochat is a pediatrician, a nephrologist, professor of pediatrics, and of course the president of the French Transparency Commission, so it's the big chief of the French evaluation for HTA. Thank you for being there.
Good afternoon. Thank you very much, Jean-François. Thank you all. Thank you, Valentina, for introducing a large part of my topic. So I will focus on the national approach, and in this red square you see the main missions of the national level, and of course I will focus on France, the country I know best, and we have the issue of early meetings. I know it's also available in other countries, of early access authorizations, of national assessment, of course, and of product reevaluation. And all what Valentina said happens usually before this step. So I will try to do a mix between the role of France and the role of each nation in this European HTA process and the local role for each nation, for individual nations. So I will not speak about the left part of the slide, only on the national appraisal process and the assessment of the value of health technology. Pricing and reimbursement still remain the competence of the member states, of each member state. And HTDs must still submit a reimbursement request, a reimbursement document. HAS, which is the name of the France HTA, Haute Autorité de Santé, staff and commission members will have access to the clinical data provided at the European level. This is the most important thing, not to duplicate documents. Committees will continue to evaluate health technologies according to their doctrines, which is also the same in any country, and ministries continue to make reimbursement decisions and procedures. So there are two main steps in my presentation. The first is the role of each individual nation, and here the role of France in the HTA-TAR assessment process. And we had first some preliminary measures. First, the creation of an adequate committee within HAS with weekly meetings, information and training of HAS members, information and training of Transparency Committee experts, information and training of French representative of HTD through videos, online information on our website, and lastly, a recent publication of a special issue in a French journal in English, so you can get it easily. In terms of staff and experts, we have a global action with first the very important involvement of a specific department. It was a creation of a specific department, including methodologists. The second step was the involvement of the whole Medicinal Product Assessment Office, with 2 specific delegates for GSC and 2 delegates for GCR, who leads the group, of course, but everybody is part of it, and they are in charge of coordination, regulation, and information. And finally, at the Transparency Committee level, the involvement of the board of the Transparency Committee, first for search of PICO experts, and second, the opinion on PICO French label. The second step is the impact of HTR on the French appraisal process, and our way of assessment includes 2 parts, as in most countries. The first is the assessment phase, which is done by the Medicinal Product Assessment Office with 30 project leaders, including let's say 2/3 pharmacists and 1/3 MD. And the second step is the appraisal phase, which is given to the Transparency Committee with 29 experts, which are MD, pharmacists, methodologists, which are also pharmacists or MD, and patient representatives. And we have no, which is specific maybe to France or a few countries in Europe, we have no economic mission at all, because we also have a different adequate committee for that. So, two questions. Which procedures are unchanged at the national level? In terms of early access, pre-marketing access, early access requests submitted before obtaining marketing access must include all available data. The second is doctrines of the committees, and we have several committees, the Transparency Committee, but also other committees, because we don't speak only about drugs, and they will continue to issue their opinions according to their evaluation principles. And third, the standard procedure for technologies not covered by GCAs. HT not covered by GCAs will be assessed by the HAS in accordance with the current procedure. What will be changed at the national level? First, this very important step of national early dialogues. Medicinal products and devices that have undergone or will undergo a GSC will not be eligible to an early national meeting. We should need more time for that, and it will be a double action in the same way. The second is the early access post-marketing, which is completely on the responsibility of the national level. And third, the standard evaluation procedures and the clinical data provided at the European level will not be requested again at the national level. So, just to show you in this agenda that the national implementation is mentioned here in red, and it mainly includes two steps. First, the expert input, clinicians or patients, and second, the validation of the national PICO by the Transparency Committee. So Valentina said that we had 10 GCAs running now. As you know, we started with new molecules in oncology and hematology, and 9 of them are in this field, and only 1 is in the field of ATMP, which is for spinal muscular atrophy. But you see that, as shown on the map Valentina showed, there is a very interesting distribution of each participating countries. I will not speak about GSC because it's a little bit complicated, and I think you want mostly focus on GCA. So, as a conclusion, we have common challenges. The implementation of new processes that necessitate refinement and optimization. We are growing with it. Coordination and harmonization between the first GCAs. There are challenges as assessor in case of complex GCA, namely with PICO requiring numerous subpopulations. Also complex PICO for a significant and clever consolidation across 27 member states. And finally, there are challenges as reviewer of other GCAs. The national procedures enabling to adequately address the national PICO involve clinician and patient experts and should be then validated by the Transparency Committee Board or equivalent in other countries. And second step, the implementation of this process is very important and should make it sustainable throughout the year. And I think it is my finest slide. I would like to thank the 4 persons who are mainly in charge of this European action, and I thank you very much.
Thank you, Pierre. Very clear, very complete, very useful. I know that you have to leave at 5:30. I hope we will be on time to keep you in the final discussion, because I'm sure we have a lot of questions or comments. Thank you.